this could turn out one or two ways. It could be Liam Jones 2.0, or it could be another failed acquisition. What are your overriding thoughts, Costa, coming into 2022 for Gov?
Well, Gov, I think, is a little bit different of a player in this series because of the expectations we have on him. Some of the other players we're analysing this series are young players who are maybe fighting for their spot on the list. Gov is someone who, as Terry has mentioned multiple times on this channel, is someone that we invested heavily in, and we have not gotten anywhere near the return that we needed from him. So that's why, in my opinion, this is the biggest player of this series that we're doing between you and I, Ari, because he needs to prove himself this year. We have spent a lot of money on him, a lot of time on him. We've given him patience. He's just never gotten his body completely right for an AFL footballer. And this is his chance to step up and provide something that we've been crying out for years. I mean, Liam Jones is gone, and even he wasn't always reliable back there. He had a fantastic season last year. We can't have that anymore. Wiedering needs help back there. I mean, imagine Wiedering goes down throughout the season. What do we do then? I mean, you can't be a top 8 side without a strong core, and McGovern has to be that. And I mean, I don't like necessarily making the comparison between his brother because
I think that's harsh. I think that's harsh as well.
Yeah, I think it's trivial. I mean, they're two different players, really. McGovern's a forward. Yeah, they can both take good marks. But like I said, I can see him slotting into that Liam Jones backline, but it just depends about his conviction and his motivation. And we haven't seen that for the last couple of years, so we better see it this season.
Yeah, there's always that notion of, and I think this has been talked about in the media, especially since Liam Jones has transformed his career, which is like a failed forward is not a failed forward until they've tried being a defender. And I don't think you can do that with all forwards. Like, I don't think you can move Harry Mackay in defence and he can become all Australian, right? But there's something about Gov where I just think he suits it more. And obviously, only time will tell if I'm going to be right in that. But he has this, he's very athletic, even though he's not the tallest. He's got a good jumping reach and he can read. I think what he struggled with last year was just a lack of structure. Playing as that loose forward, that like high half forward, he couldn't really find himself like on the field. Like, he didn't really know what his role was. Whereas if he's told by Vossa, this is your man, don't let him score or don't let him have an impact, I think that just trivial and just like basic structure can really go a long way. Is that like somewhere along your thoughts?
Yeah, 100%. But the only concern I have with McGovern going into the season is that I find him struggling at times to assert himself into the game, maybe shying away from contests or just making easy mistakes when the spotlight is on him. I mean, how many times have we seen him lining up for goal 20 out and he shanks it or misses? I feel like the moment sometimes gets to him. And if that happens as a defender, he will get eaten up because you have to be the most confident player on the field to be a defender. You have to be standing next to someone like a Lance Franklin and say, I'm going to eat you for dinner today. Like, otherwise, he's just going to dominate you all game. So that's something, not only his physical, but his mental game has to get a lot better too. And that only comes when you've got full confidence in yourself, when you've got confidence in your body, your preparation. And that's what McGovern's been lacking in the past. So I think not only has his physical not been there, but that's affected his mental part of the game. So 100%, I think that if Vossi says you are not letting him kick a goal today, he's going to try and outmark him 99% of the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it depends about how his conviction is towards the game. Like I've said before, it depends how hard he wants to train and get his body right so that he can believe in himself to lock players up, and how well he fits that role quickly.
It's the thing of like that you spoke about, like the moment and the real like pressure scenario. As a defender, I feel like, yes, it's a lot riskier in terms of if you make a mistake. And I think, speaking just briefly on Lockie Plowman, he's been a victim of that. He's a little bit more mistake prone than other defenders. And those mistakes are just pronounced because he's a defender. If he stuffs up, they kick a goal, right? Whereas as a forward, if you stuff up, like nothing overly bad's going to happen. But for Gov, having that continuity, I think that's probably the key. Whether he plays defense or up forward, right? That continuity in the team and within his body is the absolute thing that he needs to focus on. Because in his first season, he didn't really get a full preseason. In his second season, he was interrupted as well. And even last year, he couldn't, like, there was nothing there which said, Gov's here and he's like arrived. I think he needs a couple of things. He needs, again, continuity within himself and within the team. And that game, I think we all speak about like that game where you announce yourself. Like Jack Martin had it in his debut. Like obviously, like the likes of Zach Williams still haven't had it quite yet. If he can have that game, whether it be in defense or forward, that could really just give him that push start and just really elevate him to new levels. Because I've said, I'll put my neck out on the line. I think I said on one of the Blue Broad shows that he could be all Australian squad caliber defender because he's got all the athletic ability in terms of like natural athletic ability. And if he can just get it right, I feel like it could be a big, big year for Gov.
Yeah, that's a big call, but I do like it. I mean, we're Carlton fans. We don't shy away from anything, do we?
I know. Well, I think that he's got to have that confidence and that, yes, I'm the best defender. Like,
Yes.
I'm gonna compete with Wiedering and take him like all the way. Because if you're not like to be great, you have to be bold and you have to be out there. So they're our thoughts on Gov's 2022. Let us know yours in the comments below.